we are going to see our course syllabus. So our course name is Python A to Z course. So I have divided this course in two sections. There are two major sections, core Python and advanced Python. So whenever you are learning any programming language, so there are some basic building blocks in that programming language. So these are the basics. And once you learn basics, on top of basics there are advanced things. So this is advanced Python. So this we are going to learn. So here core Python. So in core Python, first we are going to see introduction to programming. So there are some students, those are coming from non-tech background or non-programming background also. So for them I will first introduce what is mean by program. So that we are going to see in introduction to programming. Then why to learn Python. So what are the benefits of learning Python? So once you learn Python, what are the job opportunities, in which field you can work? So that we are going to see in why to learn Python. Then introduction to Python. So in this module, we are going to see what are the features of Python, what is the history of Python. So those things we are going to see in introduction to Python. Then basics of Python. So in this we are going to see how to write Python code. So those we are going to see in basics of Python. Then data types. So whenever you are representing data in any programming language, so for that you need some data types. So that we are going to see in this module, data types. So whatever the data you have, on that data, whenever you want to do any operation, for that you need operators. So those we are going to see in operators. Then flow control. So if I ask you what is meant by program, you will give me answer, it is set of instruction. Actually it is set of logical instructions, right? Means there is some logic behind that writing those steps. It is not like that every time all the steps will get executed. No, sometimes what you have to do, you have to divert the flow of program based on some condition, right? So that we are going to see in flow control. Then functions. So Python is a programming language which support functional programming. So that we are going to see in functions. Then we are going to see object oriented programming. So Python supports object oriented programming also. So that we are going to see in object oriented programming module. Then we are going to see how to debug Python program. So that we are, so all these things we are going to see in core Python. So these are the basics. Then we are going to see advanced Python. So first we will see what is advanced Python. So whatever the basics you have learned, on top of that, when you are going to build things, so those are the advanced things. So those are the advanced Python. So next is exception handling. For example, when your application is running in actual production, so at that time you are going to get some errors. So those errors, how to handle those errors, so those are called execution time errors. So that comes in exception handling, that we are going to see in exception handling. Then file handling, various types of files, how to handle using Python application, that we are going to see in Python file handling. Then advanced concepts in Python, there are some concepts like iterators, generators, decorators. So those we are going to see in advanced concepts in Python. Then advanced data structures. So there are some data structures which are advanced, means those are having advanced features than these data types. So that we are going to see in advanced data structures. Then we are going to see comprehension. So comprehension is alternative to loops. How to implement that we are going to see in comprehensions. Then module, what is meant by module, that we are going to see in module. Then packages we are going to see. Python standard libraries are there. So whenever you want to implement complex task, so instead of starting that task from scratch, you will use Python standard libraries. So because of this, your task will become very easy. So those we are going to see in Python standard library. Then regular expressions are there. For pattern matching, we are going to see how to implement regular expressions. Then Python database connectivity. So here you are going to connect your Python application to database, and how to interact with database using your Python application, that we are going to see in Python database connectivity. Then logging module we are going to see. Then docstring we are going to see. Then pydoc also we are going to see. And then virtual environment concept. So why we need virtual environment concept and how to implement that we are going to see in virtual environment concept. then Python case studies. So here, once we have completed these basics and advanced, after that we are going to see Python case studies. So use of Python to solve real world problems. So those things we are going to see in Python case studies, right? So this is our syllabus of Python A to Z course. So this course is designed for all. So the only thing you have to do is invest your time, and you have to do a lot of coding practice. So as I'm going to explain this module, so we are going to see some theory also, and we will mostly concentrate on coding part, because coding is very important. So when you do more coding practice, then your logic building skill will get improved, right? So that we will mostly focus on coding part, right? So this is our course, Python A to Z course syllabus.